Okay. Here we go. This is week one power rankings. I think we're gonna try to do a little live stream like this every week, basically. If it doesn't happen some weeks, don't complain too much. But
Or at all.
yeah, or don't complain at all, actually. But yeah. So week one went. There was some fun games for sure, and I guess let's get started. So first up, the Mumbai Mudkips sitting at 16. They're not getting double 6-0'd. Not as bad as me against Matt last season, but still not great. I should have mentioned we're gonna try to kind of each of us has like a short like a sentence or like one thought for each team just to kind of make this run smoother. So that's the kind of general structure we got going on. So for this one, I just said didn't have Pursuit on Muck and didn't have Hazards, so you could not beat Shedinja, and that's basically what happened in my mind.
Yeah, that's fair. Not a great performance, if we're being completely honest. But you know what? Now that I'm like team building against Madness for this week, I actually kind of like his team more than I thought I did. Um, it's he's got some really good mons, so that's why I voted for him at 15 instead of 16.
Right.
And losing to Saslo is Saslo is pretty good. So
That's true. He's currently undefeated based on these rankings. So
That's a good point.
I wonder what'll happen this week.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was rough loss for Mad. I think the two things that I noted were that you didn't have a ground type, so Zapdos and Magnet Zone just like clicked Volt Switch and just destroyed. And then I don't think you totally knew what Shedinja was doing. I feel like there were times where you clicked Moonblast on it or other moves, which was not great. That's about it. But I do like your team still. I agree with Clayton.
Yeah, that's I think no further thoughts on that one really.
Yeah.
So
we're trying to keep it quick to
yeah.
keep it under
Yeah, we might have a couple longer streams, like maybe halfway through like a mid-season thing. We might do a long one with more thoughts, but week to week gonna try to keep it quick. So next up, 15, the South Central Corphish after taking a L to the Anaheim Lickilicky. One of you guys want to give your thoughts on this one first?
Sure. Let's see. Who are we looking at? We're looking at
South Central.
Oh, South Central. Yeah. So I attributed his loss essentially to just not using Zard X correctly. You should absolutely have Flare Blitz on it, like 90% of the time. And then the other thing was that Specs Pult, which is probably the most common Pult set, just blew through your team. So I think you needed a better counter there.
Yeah, I was gonna say like exactly the same thing. That Zard set kind of hurt to watch because it just didn't quite hit hard enough. Flare, like I know the recoil from Flare Blitz sucks, but like you gotta run it. It hits so hard.
Yeah, it hits almost twice as hard as Fire Punch. Like it's actually crazy. Yeah, I think basically the two things I noted is you have an Ice Shard user in Donphan that did not come against Dragapult, which is weird, and you did not bring anything that could take 2 hits of a Spec Shadow Ball from Pult, which you're not going to beat a Dragapult team if nothing can take a Shadow Ball. So,
Just as an aside, did you for all these slides, did you put the 6 mons that they brought to the
yes
to their match? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So these are the mons that were brought. I guess I should have mentioned that also. But yeah, the reason I had you above Mad just because you killed more things, and it looked like there was times when it felt like you could have done stuff if you had just had Flare Blitz on Charizard, or if you had just run a slightly bulkier Slowking or something like that. Like, I think the mons you brought weren't necessarily bad for the most part. It was just a couple things that were weird that made it impossible for you to win. That's why I had you a bit above Mad. But, alright.
I generally agree
Good
with
to
that.
move on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, next up, the San Francisco Seismitoads, who lost to me this week. Yes, all that I have to say is, were you so confident against me that you didn't think you needed to use all your EVs?
Yeah, that was a good prank.
And I mean, like, I know it's kind of like a one-off, like that won't happen again, but I had to knock you down a spot or two just because, you know, gotta punish you a little bit for. Yeah, I know it wasn't on purpose, but it's a tough one. Yeah, but that's why I have you down here instead of maybe a spot or two higher. So
I also gotta say, you probably have the best team to counter Mega Mawile and still lost to it. Like half of the team you brought can switch in for free like 100% of the time, and you still lost to it.
Yeah.
I'd only say like two like a third of the team. Max defense Lando still gets like 2 hit by play rough.
Okay, that's pretty dumb, but
yeah. I mean, Melmetal is still a really good counter for it.
Yeah.
What I said was, I thought Galv was underwhelming. It essentially can take 2 hits, and that's it. That's its lifespan, which I feel like is not great. And then the other point I wanted to say was that it felt like you weren't toxicking. Is that throwing toxic on some of Bert's walls? Like they would end up getting burnt or some other kind of thing. So I think that needed to happen.
Yeah, Hydreigon getting burnt game 1 was huge for me. And yeah, I'd agree. If you aren't running sticky webs on Galv, which I can't remember if you were or not, Thundy would have probably been. Did you still have Thundy at this point? I don't even remember. But I feel like there's something better that can be brought instead of Galv. And yeah, I like Mega Venu probably would have been better. But yeah. That's because Mega Venu also switches into Mega Mawile for free always, in case you're wondering. Like that, like Iron Head does like 35 to it. It's insane. But okay, moving on. To the Tustin Turtwigs. I mean, this game kind of sucked to watch just because your Aerodactyl needs some glasses. Game 1 was, you probably should have won game 1 if you hadn't missed a ton. I can't remember if it was game 1 or game 2, but one of them you should have won.
You missed a ton in game 2, I think. Game 1, you like would have swept with Arrow if you'd used dual wing beat instead of EQ on Alakazam. And I guess no way to know that he had a sash, but
Sash is common enough though. Probably should have checked for it.
Yeah, Oh, sorry. You
Oh, sorry. Just real quick, I do love that you picked up Excadrill. I think Excadrill obviously fits well with Hippo, and I think it fits pretty well with Arrow too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think your team's definitely shaping up better. I thought a big flaw was being so weak to Zarude. I mean, nothing really wants to take a power whip on your team. Duraludon can come in, but like I think Darkest Lariat killed it at 50%. Even like it gets like close combat too, so that would have been rough to take.
I think to be fair, I do think the Zarude had used bulk up at least once when Darkest Lariat killed.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But like relying on like toxic is just not gonna. That's not gonna cut it. And like even like a dual wing beat from an unboosted arrow is not gonna do enough. And like power whip is gonna hurt in return.
Yeah, I agree.
Or I also just noticed, at least for this one, you swapped Salmonized rankings at the top. I had you ranked all the way at 11.
That may have happened on a couple, just because like when I was changing them from the spreadsheet over to this, I like these names are in a different order, and it kept messing with my brain while I was doing it in the morning, like halfway through a cup of coffee. So if some of them are mixed up, you guys feel free to let me know. Don't want anyone flaming the wrong person. But yeah, I mean, I think Zarude's a tough matchup. I think the good thing is, I think this should reveal that you need something that can switch into water and grass moves. Even something like a Tangela, because I know Tangrowth is already taken, but a Tangela would have shut down Zarude so hard. I'm not saying definitely pick that up, but something that can eat water and grass hits.
We're up on 3 minutes there.
Okay. And jumping to the next one. The Philadelphia Phanpy. Yeah, I don't know. Clayton, I think if you want to start this one off.
Let's see. Is this actually where I had him? Yes, it was. I still don't love the team structure. I know it ended up being, it ended up being great games, and could have and maybe should have won the set. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I still don't love your team structure. I think I think if you want to really go far, you need a better physical wall. But yeah, I mean, honestly, they were great games, and hoping to see you improve.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Clayton. I think you definitely need some more physical walls. I thought Taunt on Torn was great, and I thought Lando hitting as hard as it did was very funny and cool.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. Banded Sandforce EQ.
Yeah,
was nuts.
I think it like did like 75% to Mega Scizor, which is dumb. Like I don't understand how that happened, but
just absurd.
Yeah, but then like you didn't like your entire team was weak to Shell Smash Cloyster. Slowking could like What did I say? I said Cloyster.
Yeah.
Blastoise. Yeah. I mean Slowking could take one or two hits of Dark Pulse, but like he needed probably something better there.
Yeah, that's kind of you guys basically summed up everything. All that I had to say was you had a pet turtle, so you should have known not to let one kick your ass.
Absolutely got him.
But I did love Dragalge and Slowking. I think Dragalge gets Haze. That might have been something to consider, maybe. Or Clear Smog on it or something. But beyond that, you basically lost game one on a flinch and then never really getting a para, like a full para. So I can't fault you too hard for that. I think you overall played pretty well. So yeah, I think just a little bit of prep to avoid Shell Smash Blastoise would have won you the game probably. So okay, moving on to number 11, and this was possibly biggest upset ever in our league. It's definitely up there.
No, it was rough.
Yeah, that
rough.
was tough.
Yeah.
So, well done, Mike. But we'll get to you later. I asked Sam, what were your thoughts after this game?
Yeah. The biggest flaws were, let's see, Umbreon was just HP fodder for Hat. Literally just like giving life to Hatterene. So that was rough. And then I didn't have a ground type, which I desperately needed. Vika could just come in, click T-Bolt, and yeah, like chip everything. So yeah. That's all I have to say.
I think, yeah, you just got kissed to death by a hat.
Yes.
You also had Hat with 2 moves hit 4 of your mons for super effective damage, which is kind of crazy. Your team was very fairy weak that you brought. I guess basically, if it's a special fairy, it was tough because Skarm doesn't take special hits super well from stuff that hits hard, and that was your only thing that dealt with it. Having either Iron Head or like I guess Whirlwind wouldn't work on it. Yeah, Magic Bounce is solid on that thing. Yeah, I guess Iron Head Skarm is like the only thing that maybe could have helped, but yeah, I mean it was impressive, and yeah, it was a solid match. Like, I don't think
I agree with what Trader Joe just said. That Mega King was better than expected.
Yeah.
After a power up punch, it like one-shotted Skarm with Fire Punch, I think.
Yeah. Yes. And kind of after either Skarm or Clef went down, your team kind of slowly disintegrated, is how it felt.
Yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing is, you still have a positive Mon differential, so you got that going for you.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked out, but Clayton, let's hear it.
I mean, honestly, I don't really know if I can say much more than what's been said, but yeah, your Hatterene was pretty nasty against your team. I thought you had it, and then he pulled out Draining Kiss instead of Dazzling Gleam, and I was like, man, it's over for this guy.
Yeah, that was rough. I'm telling you, Hat is like Mike's version of Togekiss for Clayton.
It's just gets a 50% boost whenever it's on his team.
Yeah, Hat is so good with Mike.
The signature Mon.
I should have drafted Rillaboom and Togekiss rounds 1 and 2.
Probably would have at least made finals. Automatically.
Get my ultimate boys. Yeah, probably.
We're going over. We're at 320 now.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on.
Next up, the East Aurora Aggron. So, once again, I kind of want Clayton to start off on this one because he has a very different take on this team than me and Sam did, obviously.
Yeah, dude, you and Sam absolutely shat on Kevin for this loss. Like, I know that it wasn't a particularly competitive match, but you lost to Gola, who won last season and who I think has a nasty team. And like I still think this is the second best like team roster. I think I had him ranked second post draft, and I don't know, it felt like a loss to Gola shouldn't knock him down to 12 or 13 as you guys suggested. Didn't play great. I guess I will say one critique that I had, dude, I don't know what the hell that Kyurem set was, but it sucked. Like it just did not hit hard enough. Like it really wanted specs, I think.
When Flash Cannon did like 30 to Sylveon, that's when I knew the game was over. Like, yeah, basically you just didn't have any way of dealing with the Sylveon Tangrowth combination. which, I mean, it's not like an easy combo to deal with, but you have enough momentum to slowly chip down at least Sylveon. And then once Sylveon was gone, Tangrowth would have been easy to deal with. As long as Scizor was still up. Or Kyurem. But I guess part of it, I don't think Gola's team is as good as you do. Is a big part of it, Clayton.
I guess so. I still think Goal is very good at playing the game,
Oh,
though.
I mean, you know, we'll see later where I have him currently ranked, but I think just not being able to deal with the Sylveon Tangrowth and not really having a plan for it coming in is what it looked like. Also, not bringing Pelipper, I get that he has Kingdra, but I still think Pelipper would have been good to bring and just try to deal with Kingdra somehow. I don't know. I think Mega Swampert is so underwhelming outside of Rain. Like, but yeah. Anything else from you, Sam?
Yeah. So I completely agree with you. I think Swampert, you got to bring Pelipper. I think 90% of the time it's better in Rain. I mean, it's objectively better in Rain, obviously, but whether or not it's the right move to bring Pelipper, I think typically it is, just from experience from last season. It was like always better with Pelipper. Kyurem was trash. Sorry, but it's true. Trying to beat Heatran with Superior was also, I don't know what your thought process there was, but that was not great.
Do have to throw out mad props for Sandtomb Scizor.
Yeah,
that was
that
was sick as hell.
Sick. So
that was fucking hilarious.
You do have that. That was really cool.
And Bronzong actually put in a surprising amount of work.
Yes,
but
because it was your only Sylveon answer.
Yeah. All right, we're coming up on 3:20 now, so we should.
Okay. So next up, our first team that won, and we have them outside of the top half. And we were mostly in agreement that this was at least hovering around the midpoint. But I mean,
I had him ranked lower because I still don't like your team.
Yeah, I don't
if
either.
I'm being completely honest. And it wasn't a dominating victory over Philly, so couldn't really give you too much props for that. Not to shit all over you, but I'm gonna do it.
I mean, yeah, Blastoise back is extremely sore after those 3 games, just absolutely carrying you through that. Celebi, I think, is useless still. This game did not do anything to change my mind about that. And I think when people know exactly what you want to do every match, it makes it tough to carry out that plan.
Yeah, I mean,
if Hayes had come on Dragalge, I don't see how you win. I guess. Yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. So I kind of got turned around on Celebi. I thought it wasn't great, but it did serve a function. And I think it will continue to kind of be like that middle ground of like half wall, half offensive. I mean, it has some utility. Still not the best in any category, but like it's kind of like a jack of all trades. I think Grim is really good on your team in general. Being able to set up screens, I think, works really well with your playstyle. I thought Tarak was kind of underwhelming. Yeah, and let's see. Yeah, not too much excitement. I mean, you had Shell Smash Blastoise, which obviously is going to put in work. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think if you get something that doesn't mind running Rocky Helmet to eat U-turns that people click against Celebi, that actually is pretty good. But right now it just feels like Celebi just sucks momentum from your team is kind of how it felt to me. But yeah. All right. So moving into the top 8. So into our only team that lost that's in the top 8. We have the Toxtricity City.
Oh, let's go, baby.
I guess I'll let you talk about this one, Clayton.
So, a few things went wrong. One, Porygon 2 got fucked by Spectre. That was not good. I didn't really have in my mind that Spectre got taunt. I guess maybe I should have because it was right there in front of my face. But I don't know. My plan for Spectre was switching Porygon 2 every time, and there's nothing he can do about it. Turns out there was something he could do about it. So that sucked. But I don't know. I debated between Shadow Ball and Thunder Wave on it for a long time, and figured Thunder Wave was good enough. And could let Chomp or Lele sweep. I think if I brought Shadow Ball, I probably would have won. But you never know. And then I know Sam did not like my Scarf Cloister set. In theory, it was really good. Turns out I should have brought Shell Smash because it literally just swept his whole team since he didn't bring Toxapex for some reason. So good mind games there on his part. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I was pretty happy with my team and pretty confident in my matchup going in, and I even thought I played pretty well. But that Spectre was just too good for me.
Yeah, the Spectre set was really good. Missing Scale Shot, you should have at least taken one game if you hadn't missed that Scale Shot.
Yeah, dude. My thought on Scale Shot was that was before he had shown his Spectre set, and so my thought was, this is like it's gonna kill me anyways, but I could just bring in Porygon and still win afterwards, and so Scale Shot had a chance to kill, and EQ did not. I should have just clicked EQ, but retrospect,
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but this was like the closest 2-0 -7 differential I've ever seen, because game 1 was an absolute nail biter, and game 2 wasn't that close, I guess, but game 1 was really close. Game 2 Spectrier was just kind of dominated because, like you said, you just didn't have an answer for it because you didn't think about taunt, which is fair. I didn't either.
Yeah, my two main comments were that Porygon should never lose to Spectrier, and if you're going to bring a different Cloister set than the Shell Smash set, it should definitely be better and work. But
I mean, it worked.
It picked up like 3 or 4 kills, I think.
I don't know. It did what it was supposed to. If I had brought Shell Smash, it would have worked better. But
yeah.
But if he brought Pex, like Shell Smash is just shut down so hard. Like I couldn't have done anything. But I needed the extra speed because Cloister's at a weird speed tier with his team.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the concept behind it. I don't know. Not my would not have been what I would run, but we're coming up on 4 minutes here, so we should
yeah, I'm
okay, yeah,
ready to jump to Yodeling Yveltals. And oh boy, I hope this is the real Mike and that this wasn't a mirage, a 1 week beat someone good, look really good, and then go back to running troll sets. I really hope that this is legitimate Mike now, because it was fun to watch, and means that it's going to be more fun to play against him. So, but I guess my big comment is I would have you higher because you did beat Sam, which is no small task. But I've seen shades of really good from you before. I need one more. I need you to do one more good week and I'm all in. But right now I'm just not willing to buy into it yet. I need one more good week.
Yeah, I put you pretty high because I think you not only prepped really well, but you played really well. There was, game 2 you had a stroke, but then game 1, I'm sorry, but you absolutely should have switched to Jirachi like immediately as soon as was setting up. Sorry, what were you gonna say,
I
Bert?
was just gonna say, don't click Bug Buzz against Clefable.
Oh
You
yeah,
clicked Bug Buzz like 3 times in a row game 2 and then started clicking T-Bolt. Bug is not very effective against Fairy.
yeah. There were a few questionable calls. But all in all, I think game 1 and 3 you played well, and I think your prep was just fantastic. So
Yeah.
Clayton,
I also think you prepped and played really well. Yeah, except for game 2. And I still really like your team. I'm excited for you to see if you can build on this win. Um, I guess my one critique, I really did not like that fly score set. Um, I think tailwind U-turn on it was so awkward because you would use tailwind and then you would immediately get a fast U-turn, and so whatever you brought in was taking the damage instead of your bulky Gliscor. So I don't know. I thought it was. I think tailwind is kind of a fun concept to play with sometime, but I really did not like it on Gliscor, honestly.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I,
think that's fair.
I completely agree with that. I feel like Trick Room would have been more,
Dude,
more that speed.
that's if I was looking at his team, that's what I would have prepped for. So maybe it's the 180.
Mm.
But yeah, I agree. I think something like knockoff or stealth rock. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'm sure there was
It
a
did
move
have
that was
knockoff,
better. Okay, so maybe stealth rock
but
or roost. There had to be something better than tailwind there. But you got the win and played well for 2/3 of the games. So want to see more of games 1 and 3 and less of game 2 going forward. Jump into the next one. We have the Anaheim Lickilicky, who took down the Corphish. I don't have much to say about this one. It's tough to get any read on the Lickilicky because just kind of clicked Shadow Ball a bunch and the game was over. Dragapult's pretty good. Pretty good Pokemon. That's basically all I've got on this one.
yeah, I would agree. It was nice to see Snorlax making an appearance again.
Mm-hmm. Off-season
But
Shaq back in action.
yeah, dude's back and better than ever. But yeah, Dragapult was nasty, and I really like your team. Keep playing well.
Yes, agree.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job. Pult was great. I think Snorlax is slowly becoming your signature mon, Curselax. And then you played Pharaoh really well. You just kept peppering him with Stealth Rocks, and then he would defog, then Stealth Rocks again, and Leech Seed, and then Stealth Rocks, which is super frustrating when you're playing against it, but
Yes.
really fun when you're the one doing it. So nice job.
Yeah, and the Hazards and Leech Seed got all the chip that Pult needed too, which was really good. Zera and Mega Guard barely had to do anything. It was mostly just a 3-man show of Pult, Pharaoh, and Mandibuzz, honestly.
Yeah, Mandibuzz with foul play is always going to be good.
Stab foul play.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous thing. But okay, ready to move into top 5?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
So the Uzbekistan Darmanitans.
Kind of dunked on Mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect the making of making Shedinja work after we shit on it so much in our other power rankings. Still think it's ass, and I think if you have to keep relying on gimmicks like that, or if you run like Sand Veil, Bright Powder, Garchomp, eventually it's going to bite you in the ass and you're going to lose to someone you probably shouldn't. But it worked this week, and I've seen you get gimmicks like this to work more often than they fail. So your prep is always creative and usually good. So this week was no exception.
Yeah, I put you a bit lower, and this was, I made this ranking before we had our match. I put you a bit lower because, like Bert was saying, I think Shedinja is kind of a gimmick. But yeah, I'm trying to remember. Let me look up my notes. Suit was really good. I think Latias was probably your biggest threat. Could pretty much hit your entire team. So I think banding, or I don't know if you banded it or not, but Pursuit taking out that was really good. But yeah, I don't think Mad totally understood how Shedinja worked. So I don't think
Or Pursuit.
Or Pursuit, yeah, really either one. So I wouldn't count this victory too much, and that's why I had you a bit lower. Clayton, anything?
Oh right. I don't know. I think you should get props for making Shedinja work. I thought it was sick. Yeah, banded T-Char just ate Latias alive, and didn't get to see too much from Chomp or Zam, but I know they will be a force for you. So that's why I put you all the way up to 3.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch your match versus Sam this week.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
Wonder what'll happen. But
I wonder what happened.
find out next week. But yeah, I think going forward you're in pretty good shape, regardless of the loss to Sam that you took. I think you're gonna be fine. Yeah, jumping to number 4. The New England Nidokings. I am still like reeling from the fact that you did not bring Toxapex against Clayton's team, but the special Zygarde was really cool for Cloyster. I'm assuming it was for Cloyster. And the Spectrier set was crazy. That was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree that Spectrier was sick as hell. Yeah, dude, I forgot about the special Zygarde. That was nasty too. Yeah, I knew Scarf Nihilego was going to be a problem for me, and it was. Yeah, I'm pissed that you just didn't even register that Jolly Cloyster could exist. But yeah, it's whatever. It was a very, very well built team though. Yeah, the Spectre is nasty.
Yeah, I thought the only real flaw that I saw was that and I don't know how he got away with this, and I even rewatched the game, and I still don't really know. But somehow you were able to escape the terror of Lele without completely getting wrecked. I don't know how, but you did it, so that was good. And I think we have yet to see the full power of Heracross. Excited for that thing to play a little more. I don't think it used a single move game 1. Probably did some stuff game 2. I didn't watch that one or rewatch, but yeah. And then Spectre, I think that was really highlighted in this game, how powerful it is, also how limited it is. But the fact that it can brute force its way past like Porygon 2 is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to see Heracross click a move when it gets to come in for free. Because something's taking 60 almost every time. So If
Oh
it
yeah, I think
persists.
the pickup of Deoxys defense this week was awesome. I think that was a great pickup for you.
To teleport into either like Zygarde or Spectrier or Megahera is going to be so scary.
Or like even Bulu or Bisharp.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, slow port into anyone is so good on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ready to jump to top 3?
Let's do it.
Sure thing.
So I'm sitting at top 3 and remembering Clayton laughing when I picked Venomoth and just being so shook when I picked Venomoth. And Venomoth looked pretty fucking good this match, huh, Clayton?
It looks fine. Oh fuck, my computer's gonna die.
Oh.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Alright, well, I thought Venomoth looked better than fine when it did like 40 to Melmetal at +1. Or no, at 0 at no plus. It just did straight 40 to Melmetal.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one besides I think Mega Mawile is really fun to use. I'm really glad I got to click Focus Punch with it. Cinderace didn't really get to do anything because game 1 was the one it would have had a chance to, and it got parried like turn 1 because I was expecting sticky webs. And Mamoswine's pretty OP.
Yeah, Mamoswine was sick. Yeah, my main comments for you were I think he played great.
Okay, I'm back.
Great. Slowbro was awesome. I think he was racking up a lot of kills with Future Sight. Kind of like getting that last like 30 or 40% off of a lot of things. Mamo was awesome. Same with Mawile. I am curious, however, to see what you're going to do when you're faced with a real special threat. You were up against Volcanion, but it wasn't like Specs Volcanion or anything like that. So I'm curious to see what you're going to do when you can't use Hydreigon as your special ball, essentially.
Interestingly, I play Mega Guard next week, and I am also interested in to see how the fuck I handle that shit.
Yeah. We shall see.
Mega Guard is haunting my dreams since finals, and it's continuing to.
That'll be tough.
I saw James called my rankings kind of sus. I thought you played pretty well. It was I don't know, it seemed like a fairly easy victory for you though. And
he lost.
Huh?
James lost.
Yeah, James did lose. What was I saying?
I think the only sus ranking Clayton had was East Aurora Aggron at 4 after losing. Yeah. Besides that, I think they were all pretty fine.
Yeah, thanks guys. But yeah.
Who's Lancaster?
That's gotta be Soslow.
Oh, that's gotta be Soslow. Yeah.
Just rank him at 1 so that you get a huge bump next week.
That would be nice.
Alright. Well,
we're coming up at 320.
Yep.
So.
Number 2, the DC Driftblim. I think these are the right rankings. I know Clayton had them at 1.
Yeah.
I think the rest is right. Yeah, I think great build, well played. Got some lucky misses, but hey, that happens. And this Rude was crazy good. And it's really impossible to say what would have happened if Arrow had hit the stuff. You still might have been able to pull out the games. And you played well. So, all in all, the really, really good team, and you played well and built well. So, nothing really nothing really bad to say except careful of Mega Arrow in the future. That thing is a monster.
Yeah, I said the exact same thing.
If I win, it'll be top 2 teams again next week if we both win.
Oh, true. Yeah, I pretty much said the exact same thing. I don't think you took Mega Arrow as seriously as you should have. Because I think it probably should have beaten you, if I'm being honest. Like if he had run Hone Claws maybe instead and just not missed any Stone Edges, I think you would have been fucked. Yeah, like I think if you had put like maybe Iron Head on Corv, that could have been a decent counter. But like relying on a low Malola, sorry. I don't think that's gonna cut it. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I don't know. I put you at 1 because yeah, I thought you played pretty well, and I still think you have pretty easily the best team, or like the best roster. I don't know. I love it.
I agree with you there.
And I think especially at the end of last season, you like really started to come into your own and play better. So I don't know. I'm very excited for what you can do this year.
Yeah, the Alola Momola is kind of like when Finding Nemo trying to say an enemy. That's
Elite reference.
Sam with Alola Momola. Or me. I can't say it either. So, but I guess that leaves no mystery as to who we have at number 1. I think me and Sam were both in agreement, and Clayton had you at 2. So pretty much as close to a consensus as you can get. Yeah, I mean, I still don't love your team, but you played really well and made the team work and made it look really good. And been starting to kind of look ahead in terms of like managing points and stuff if I do an ad drop this week so that I can do what I need to do next week for you. And Tangro Sylveon is really annoying to prep for. So you made it work. Kingdra getting flip turn actually surprisingly increases your momentum somehow. Picking up Kingdra is not something that I would have thought does that. Not even necessarily something I think you need to drop right away, just because you're not facing rain. And for me, until you at least drop a game, you'll stay at number 1 for me, just on merit of winning last season. So
yeah,
unlike Bert, I do like your team. I think it's really good, but yeah, you played really well. I think your team's nasty. Obviously, you're a good player. So yeah, I think you're gonna be right at the top all season.
I had a few comments. Personally, I thought that Kevin kind of lost this game rather than you winning it. If I'm being honest. I don't think Kevin played particularly well. And I think he has played better than that in the past. I also thought that you could have probably run Leaf Blade on Gallade. I don't know what other moves you had, but nice one-hit kill for Swampert. But yeah, I thought you played like a very safe, clean game. You weren't ever at risk at losing, I don't think. And I feel like that kind of speaks to how you typically win games is clean playing, pretty safe, but like calculated. And I think that's the way to go forward. Yeah.
switched off Leaf Blade last second.
Oh, you did have Leaf Blade.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that would have been nice. But,
yeah. I mean, I'd agree. I don't think that best team in terms of like when I look at the team, the one I'm most scared to prep for has ever won, except maybe when Clayton won, just because that team specifically I hated playing against. I don't know if it was actually the best overall. But the first season we were on the site, I hated playing against Clayton's team. So having the best team isn't gonna like win you a season. It just gives you a good jumping off point. And I do think this team is good enough to do things. I just think the lack of momentum kind of sometimes puts you to disadvantage, but you've dealt with it well so far. And I'm excited for your next match. And then I'm less excited for the one after that because it's against me and I don't really want to play you again. So
Yeah, dude, next week's gonna be sick though. 1v2.
yeah, no, it's gonna be really good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see what you end up doing with the Kingdra too. So okay, jumping to the final rankings, just so everybody can get a look. This is what they look like. I think only one match has happened for the upcoming week. So these are basically where they stand right now. Besides 11 and 5, there's going to be some movement for those teams for sure. Yeah. The first week gets me really excited because I mean, honestly, largely because of you, Mike. I don't know if you're watching right now, but you know, you've been a mainstay of the league for this is third or fourth season or whatever season we're in, and you have the potential to make waves this season. So I'm hoping you're able to do it. It's been exciting.
Yeah, I think you have a great team, Mike. I hope you keep going with this. Yeah. I don't want to say too much, but I was practicing with your next opponent, and I hope you do well. I think you're playing Ben, right? Yeah.
Don't want your brother to win. I see.
Well, no. Obviously, I am impartial here. But I think you have a good opportunity here.
Yeah, no, you got to root for your division opponents to lose, so I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for hopping in, everybody who watched live, and hopefully for those of you who end up watching on YouTube, you're able to hop in a stream at some point. Do our best to comment on whatever people say in the chat. But yeah. I'm enjoying the live stream so far. It's more fun than just making a slideshow. So hopefully we're able to find time for it in future weeks. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, everyone.
You guys.